to Inside Eastern Utah. I'm your host, Scotty Draper, and we are here today to talk about someone going from photographing family and rat brains, which sounds so contradictory, to now having his own space at a gallery and hosting photography workshops at night. It's super exciting. So we are here to welcome Tyson Chappell with us, as well as his agent, Chappell Johansson. They're here to talk to us about what is going on in the world of photography here in Castle Country. So thank you for joining us. And Tyson, you might know him. He is a frequent face at the university. He teaches anatomy there. He's there taking sports photos, all kinds of stuff. And now you are busy teamed up with Chappell and into the photography business as well.
Yep, that's right.
So thank you for taking some time. Can we start at the beginning? I think it all began about 15 years ago when your daughter was born. That's when the photography started. So walk us through it a little bit.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, my daughter Alexis was born, and I wanted to be a good dad and take lots of pictures of her, and so I bought a little tiny Sony 3-megapixel camera and a cool pics, and I just started using that.
You probably felt very legit though, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day with that,
Yeah,
you're like,
15
I am
years ago with
dad
the
number
camera.
one.
That was awesome. So yeah, I just started taking pictures and figuring out settings, and then I was in graduate school in Memphis, earning my PhD in neuroscience, and I was studying the effect of fetal alcohol exposure on the developing brain, and I studied rats. And so I took pictures of rat brains, and that also required that I understand how cameras work and the settings and aperture and shutter speed and everything. And so I took a lot of rat brain photos, and then...
Well, it's all about diversity and experience, right?
Yeah, from little babies to rat brains, it's all the same thing.
And then a couple years after, then you really started getting into expanding your horizons, getting into more landscape, upgrading your equipment. Take us through that.
Yeah, in Memphis I had people start asking me to do family shots and weddings, and so that kept me really busy in graduate school. And then once I graduated, moved out here to Price and got a job here teaching anatomy and physiology, and I would just keep reinvesting my money. Anything I made, I would just try to upgrade lenses and camera bodies, and now I'm set with some pretty nice equipment, and it's able to do some really nice astrophotography.
That is great. And you are no stranger to small towns. You are actually from Loa. So no stranger to small towns or Utah, and obviously can recognize the beauty that is here. And I know Chappell certainly recognized the beauty. You two got connected, it's been what, almost a year now?
Probably just a few months.
Has it been? Oh my goodness.
It's about 6 months.
Yeah.
And that all happened from a photo contest that, Chappell, you were running with the Carbon County Office of Tourism, a photo contest. Talk a bit about that and what happened when Tyson's photo came through.
Sure. Well, back in October, I went to a tourism meeting. And one of the things that I got out of the tourism meeting was, other than recreational and cultural, educational tourism, dark sky tourism was one of the fastest growing segments in the state of Utah. And I was baffled by that, because who travels and pays all this money, and comes across the world to see dark skies? I find that a lot of people, even myself, take advantage of the beauty that we have around us, or the tourism opportunities. So that was my first exposure to dark sky tourism. And shortly after that, we started running a contest, and we needed some photos of the area that were interesting to tourists. And Tyson sent in his photos.
Let's see the winning photo, by the way. I think it's called The Hunt, right?
The Great Hunt.
The Great Hunt
at night.
Yes.
And
so this is 9 Mile at night. And tell us, so some people might think, man, those are some crazy editing skills, all those colors, all that motion. Tell us how it really works.
So yeah, this is the Great Hunt panel in 9 Mile, and this is a single exposure that lasted 1 hour and 15 minutes. So our Earth is rotating. Crazy. Yeah, this point here, this pivot point.
You were standing out there in the cold.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, luckily. It usually it can get cold, but this is Polaris, the North Star, and so as our Earth pivots, and if you leave the shutter open, then our Earth is rotating and light is hitting the sensor as the Earth rotates, so it looks like the sky is spinning, but it's really us.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, that's the pivot point Polaris, and then this is just this is just natural light from the stars themselves. So I didn't use any other lights to illuminate this. This is just the low level light over an hour and 15 minutes that illuminated the panel.
And that's what you use in the majority of your photographs, right? Just natural light, and you adjust the settings, all this shutter and all these words that maybe a lot of us don't know. But you adjust those settings, and that's what gives you these super unique colors and all the lighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes I'll use, it's called light painting, where I'll use a low intensity light, like a mag light, to just paint with light. Basically, when the shutter's open, you just paint with light, and then that hits the object and bounces into the camera. And then things that are close, you can do that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
If it's like this other photo, it's a huge valley, so that would be too big to do light painting with. But
so Shalee, you saw this photo
I
come
saw this
through.
and I went, wow.
You're like, this guy is awesome.
Yeah, and I recognize that a lot of people outside of the state of Utah have never seen dark skies, and they're very drawn to things like this. And so for something to attract tourists and create some interest in what we have to offer in this area, his pictures depict that and tell 1,000 words, for a lack of better words. But you know, after that, I had contacted him, and am opening a gallery on Helper Main Street this summer. And I'm hand choosing 5 to 10 different types of artists that are complementary to the area, and chose him as our photographer along the Outlaw Trail. And we've set up different tours that people can take. We have Spring Canyon tour that's about 2 hours. We have some San Rafael tours that are longer, but Tyson is very willing and open to share not only his talent, but how he produces these photos. And so if people want to bring along their cameras, Tyson's very willing to go over how to open that shutter and create these types of looks and get these types of photos while having a great tour and a good time as well.
You know, and I think there is such a need for that. Not only people wanting to learn how to do it themselves, but those who just want the final product. I know you've been very active on social media over the years since you've gotten more and more into it, and there's always people coming, where can I buy this? How did you do that? What were your settings? And so it's really great, the connection you two were able to make to kind of expand upon this. Did you ever think 15 years ago, starting with that little camera with your daughter, that this is where you'd end up?
no, definitely not. Even just a few months ago, I still just do it for myself. I just enjoy being out there. It's a very peaceful time. It's just beautiful and serene, and it's a time to kind of commune with the cosmos, and then to find out that other people enjoy it as well, and to see the product of it is fantastic.
And you probably seems like you have the world to yourself that at night like that out in the wilderness. Me, I go to bed at like 9, so an hour and 15 minutes at probably midnight wouldn't be good for me. But let's see this other photo, because this is another thing that has been very popular. Not only have you been throughout Carbon County, but also Emery County, all throughout Utah. Tell us a bit about this photo.
So this one's called Leave Me Breathless. All right, and this is from Mesa Arch, which is in Canyonlands. So if you've been to Mesa Arch, this is just to the left of Mesa Arch up to the little hill, and this is the whole big valley. So Mesa Arch would be right over here. But this one's actually this is a panorama. So this is probably this is 4 shots. Since it's a huge, massive, then I'd merge them together. But it's all still just natural lights. You know, there is some post-processing with Photoshop just to try to bring up some of the light levels. But it is, you know, it's just 3 or 4 shots at night, and this is how it comes out, pretty much.
So for example, how long would this take? By the time you took the photos and had to edit it and everything, you're obviously putting a lot of effort and time into these.
Yeah, it's a couple of hours. I mean, like each individual shot for this one is like 30 seconds. But then, the work afterwards to put it together and to try to make it look nice and finalize it. It takes some time. I spend a lot of time playing with photos.
Oh, I'm sure. And where did you learn it all? Where did you learn about the different settings and how to edit them together and all of that?
I just learned myself. I've never taken a class. I just study.
La-ti-da, right?
I just have a question, and then I look up how to solve that question, or different kinds of photography. I just study it and try it. Read your photography manual and learn the settings, and that will get you a long ways.
And that is what's going to be so great about those trainings, is maybe I wouldn't have to read as much of the manual. You might walk me through a few things. But everyone's camera is different, is also the important thing to know. That's why it's so important to read those.
And I don't know about you, but for me, to read a manual is one thing, but to go for 2 hours and to be with the expert and to have him actually show you how to do that is so much easier and so much more enjoyable. Yeah, than trying to read a manual and figure it out and go out there
and
being
by
on
yourself. Scene and actually being able to capture the stuff that you're interested in is going to be great.
And I think that's one really great thing about Tyson is you find a lot of artists who are very reclusive or they're just kind of into doing their own thing. But Tyson is very willing to meet with people, to sign their prints or canvases that they buy, to help them understand what he's doing and to get to experience the whole photography experience themselves instead of just to buy this and enjoy it every day. So he's very willing to do that and very personable that way, which is very unique in an artist. So we're very lucky to have that.
I agree, because I always thought it was kind of unique. You've always been so willing to take plenty of time to explain to people, these are the settings I used, this is how long it took, this is exactly where this location was. A lot of people want to be like, oh, that's my secret magician's trick here. But you've been very willing to share and help people explore, and I think that's fantastic.
Thank you.
And so the website just launched. Here, we can set this back down so you don't have to work to hold it. So as you guys got connected a few months ago, one of the first things was the website that had to go live. Talk a bit about that.
Sure. So there were a few marketing things that we wanted to pre-launch before the gallery opening. And one of those, of course, was the social media aspect. And he's got a great Instagram following already and posts quite often. As a matter of fact, this photo that we just saw was just taken a month ago. He goes out and he comes back, he has all these photos, and I've struggled because I have literally over 2,500 images on my computer right now trying to choose.
How do you pick? Oh my goodness, that'd be so tough.
That being said, I'm very drawn to certain ones myself, and I find that other people are as well. And so we've posted quite a few of those. We're getting close to 100 on the website. We're offering prints from 16 to 20 up to 40 by 60, and we'll be offering canvases starting this week. And it's they're very reasonable. Even the 40 by 60 is under $100 for the print.
Just insane.
Yeah, right, and it's massive. So they range from $39 to $98 per print, depending on the size. And then we're also coming out in the next week or so with postcard packs. So there will be 10 different dark sky images in a postcard pack,
or
10 of the San Rafael, or 10 of his wildlife series, or say a 10-pack of Helper, or Price.
And so that is so fantastic because, for example, a lot of times when people travel to Utah, you get the basic postcards with the snowy mountains or of Moab. But when people are here visiting our little chunk of southeastern Utah, it's going to be so great to have something so local to the area available.
And it's interesting for tourists too, because things that they get excited about sometimes surprise me. And one of the things that I've found that people are getting excited about are, oh really, I can go with the actual artist of the print that I just bought, and I get a free set of postcards, and I can take my picture with him on the trip, learning about this. And so it's just really not just about buying his print and going on a tour. It's about really interacting on an intimate level with a small group of people and learning how to do what he does and getting your picture taken with the actual artist. And with the places that Tyson's going, that's going to be probably pretty valuable someday, is having your picture with the famous Tyson Chappell.
Right, and look, he's so embarrassed. He's
so
just
humble about all of this.
He's blushing, and we're like, you're so cool, you're so
cool,
amazing.
you're so good, yeah.
So before we let you guys go, where can they find you online, Instagram, all that good stuff, so that they can connect?
Instagram is Chappell Shots, Chappell_shots. So please come along and follow for the journey. And then my website that Shirley has been working with and I is just tysonchappell.com. So nice and easy.
And then be sure to stay tuned for the gallery that is coming, and those workshops you can book now. They aren't happening until a little bit later, but you can reserve your space now, right? Great. Stick around. We'll be back with more of your favorite programming on ATV Channel 10.